Hey guys, my name is Emma, and today I'd like to read you guys a couple of my journal entries as of late. Friday, September 19th, 2025. The only reason why I haven't continuously doubted myself in this prolonged period of relative lethargy is my ability to hyper-focus and be hyper-efficient when I'm doing certain tasks these days, such as making spaghetti and salad from scratch in half the time it usually takes me, reading an adolescent novel in French in just a couple days, or absorbing a foreign language that I'm learning. My fears, yes, I do have multiple, and anxieties have been arising in my sleep. And so every night I wake up a couple times, and even after 9 hours of being in bed, I feel like I've had 3 days worth of life within those 9 hours of sleep. And I don't always wake up feeling super refreshed or rejuvenated, but my intuition has been getting sharper, and my intuition has been telling me to just let it happen. So yeah, as of late, a lot of fears that I have suppressed, or maybe I'm aware of them, but I haven't actually looked them in the eye, have been coming up in my dreams. A lot of them are fears as a human, not as me as a person, but me living in a biological human body, like fear of spiders, evolutionary fears almost. And they're not trauma related fears that is related to someone else. Fear of one day becoming a mother and giving birth to a child that isn't whole, either physically or intellectually. I've had it since I was able to conceptualize what it means to be healthy as a child. And the long story short, with dealing with these fears is acknowledging that they are a part of my existence. I think the first step would be being honest about that to yourself, in your mind, in your thoughts. But for me to actually really own up to a fear, or accept a fear, I either write it down, or even better, I say it aloud to someone else. It feels like a confession almost. My friend had the same fear, and we were able to talk it out, and I reasoned with both of our logics, and yeah, we were able to both resolve our fears, our respective fears together. I think I'll do a more detailed video about that in the future when I figure that out a little bit more. Anyways, back to the journal entry. Movies these days have been a meh pastime for me. So many things that used to excite me are now boring me. And at first, I worried whether it was my attention span narrowing, but then I realized it's just that these things that used to excite me no longer bring me the depth I look for in things anymore. And that is why I get bored quickly. Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. Your attention is one of the most valuable things that you have. Protect it and allocate it wisely. It is the horsepower that will fuel you towards greatness. However, it is up to you to determine which direction greatness for you is to pursue. Glengarriff Woods by Alexander Motovilov. I found this guy's music yesterday, and somehow it transports me to exactly where I want and need to be. I can't really explain it, but the feeling's surreal. And that piece, Glengarriff Woods, is what you're hearing in the background of this video right now. Friday, September 26, 2025. I've been watching the sunset like an egg yolk in the sky, and watched how it's beginning to set further and further left behind the building opposite my house. The world is spinning quickly, and it won't be too long until I'll see the sunsets again. I've also been watching the direction that the clouds blow each time we have a storm come through the area. When the storms come in, the clouds blow in, and once you see the clouds blow back out to sea, you know the storm is over. It's learned something new during its time inland, and I wonder what the storm has seen, and how much wiser it has become when it pulls back out to sea. When I'm observing the weather like this, I feel like I'm tapping into ancient wisdom. Wisdom that helps me understand more of the earth's whispers and rhythms. This must be how the ancient people lived. Sunday, September 28, 2025. We visited a clothing store that Mom had discovered near our home. For the first time in 5 years, I have found clothes here that are not only big and long enough for me, but even bigger and longer than what I need them to be. Usually I hate trying on clothes with a passion. Yet yesterday, I changed in and out of so many outfits and was so excited about the whole experience, I didn't even notice it. So I guess I do like clothes and shopping after all. And it wasn't like I merely hated changing in and out of clothes before. It was more so deep down I knew that nothing was gonna fit, let alone look good on me. And that made the whole trying on clothes experience, that whole process, not worth the energy expenditure. This new trench coat I picked up makes me feel like a terracotta warrior. And all that's left is to put my hair up in a high bun, and my Halloween outfit is complete. So there's been an overarching theme about me and my energy and my attention span and my focus. A habit that has changed recently for me is that I've started reading more paper books. A couple months ago, I decided to get a library card, and I like to hang out in the children's area because the books there have a lot of illustrations, and there's just something more magical and carefree and optimistic and utopian about children's books that really draws me in. Before, I used to read books on my tablet or on my laptop, but after borrowing physical books, I noticed that there were other habits in my life that also switched up as well. And one of it was the music that I listened to. Somehow I started gravitating more towards calmer music. Piano music, the one you're hearing right now, has been like my go-to soundtrack these days. The fact that I get bored quickly with a lot of content or movies, but I can get so drawn in to like watching the clouds, watching the sunset, reading a book, enjoying the slow time I have on certain mornings. At this point, I don't know which came first. The fact that there was like a mindset switch, and so my habits switched in real life, my taste in what I consume changed, or whether it was like a habit change that catalyzed this whole shift in the taste of what I like to consume. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know about you guys, but for a long time, whenever I journaled, it would always be for cathartic purposes. There usually was something that really angered me or something that I was really frustrated about, and I would take it out. I would pour it all out onto paper and resolve it there. So if you read my diary entries from like 2016 through like a 2022, 2023, it would look as though I have a terrible outlook on life. But these days I've noticed that in my journal entries, there's like daily stuff, small everyday wins, little memories here and there. Like here's like a couple outfits that I sewed and I wanted to remember them. What else? Oh yes, like meeting up with people, different ponderings, different events. And I feel like that is a pretty accurate reflection of my outlook on life now. I enjoy the little things. I enjoy the little wins. I make space for them and fully acknowledge and appreciate them when they're here. It's been really good. So although sometimes my head is a little tired or a little heavy, my heart is full.